Hello everyone. Let us have our English grammar book, My Folder. We are going to start with the unit of active and passive voices. The voice of verb describes the relationship between the action that the verb expresses and the participants. So, when the subject is the doer of the action, the verb is in the active voice. When the subject is in the target of action, the verb is said to be passive voice. So let us talk about some of the rules to convert the active voice to the passive voices. Now let us discuss the three basic rules to convert active to passive voice. The first one is interchange of position of subjects and object. Second is we will always use the third form of verb. And the third is we will use by with the subject at the end. Let us take an example. I write a letter. I is the subject here. Write is a verb. A letter is an object. So according to the first rule, a letter has to interchange the position with I. So a letter will come at the first hand of the sentence. Second rule says that write, which is a verb, has to be converted into third form, that is written. The I will come at the end by changing the position. So by is used here at the end with the subject. Is here is a helping verb used. So I write a letter is converted into a letter is written by me. Let us have another example. He clicked the pictures. So he is the subject here. Clicked, the verb used, the pictures, objects. So we have to interchange the position of subject and object. So by changing the interposition, the pictures will come forward. Were is a helping verb used here because pictures are plural. Clicked, the third form of the verb. By, according to the rule. And then he, which is converted into him here. So the sentence he clicked the picture is finally converted into the pictures were clicked by him. In the previous two examples, we used is and were as a helping verb. So now the question rises here, from where we got them. We have some rules for using the helping verbs. So let us discuss that rules one by one according to the tenses. So if we have to use the simple present tense to be converted into passive form, then we will use the continuous form of helping verb of the same. As simple present means first form of verb along with do and does. As we have an example here. Pooja writes a letter. It's a simple present tense. We have to convert it into passive form. So we will use a letter is written. Is written is a continuous form of present tense by Pooja. In the same way, when we have to convert the simple past, as we have example here, she cleaned the house. Subject, second form, and then object. Then we will use the house at the first hand and we will use was cleaned, which is a continuous form of simple past. Then the house was cleaned by her. When we have to go for the simple future, they will pay the tax. Subject, will, first form, and then object. Then we will convert it into as a continuous form of future tense. Likewise, the tax will be paid by them. Let us move to some other rules. If already we have a sentence which is present continuous and we have to convert it into the passive form, then we will use the third form along with the being to the same helping verbs, such as she is doing the homework. Is doing is clearly indicating that it is a present continuous tense. We have to convert it into passive form. So, is as it is, we have to add being, and doing has to be converted into third form. So, the sentence will be the homework is being done by her. Now, if we have past continuous in the active form, the sentence can be I was waiting for Tina. Was waiting is clearly indicating that it is past continuous. So now we have to convert it into passive form. So we will apply was, the same helping verb, along with the being and the third form. So it will become Tina was being waited by me, because I has to be converted into me. For the future continuous tense, there will be no change in the passive voice. So we don't have the rules for it. Let us move. Now let us talk about some other rules. If we have to convert the interrogative sentences into the passive form, we will apply the same form of interrogation in the passive also. As we can see here, did she recognize you? So the question form will continue here in the passive also. Did will convert into verb, as according to rule we had already discussed. You will come here at the first place. Recognize will change into recognize as it is a third form. According to the rule, the by will come and she will be come here at the end, which will be converted into her. So, did she recognize you will be converted into were you recognized by her. If we have to change the imperative sentences, we will use let and be to make the passive form. As we have the sentence, write the letter. We don't have the subject here. So, we will use let at the first hand. Then we will add the letter here. As according to the rule I have told you earlier, we will use let and be to change it into passive. So, we will apply be here. Third form of write, that is written by according to the rule, and we will add you as we don't have the subject. So the sentence write the letter will be converted into let the letter be written by you. When we have to change the modals from active to passive, we must remember that there will be no change in the modals. They will be remain same in the passive voice too. But we will add be along with it. As we can see here, she should play the guitar. So the guitar will come here at the first hand. Should will come as it is. Be will be added to it. Play will be converted into the third form, that is played by as per as rule. And then she will be converted into her and will come at the end. So she should play the guitar will be converted into the guitar should be played by her. Some or other time, we have to convert the passive form into the active one. For that conversion, first of all, we have to recognize if the sentence is passive or not. So by using these key terms, we can easily recognize that this is a passive form of sentence. If the third form is used with is or am, if was were are added with the third form, if will shall is added with the third form, if been is used with the third form, or if third form is being applied with a being, then we can easily recognize that this is a passive form of sentence. Then now we have to convert it into the active form. For that, we will go to the same rules as we have used for the active to passive. And then we have to reverse the rules and do it as a vice versa. The structure which we have formed when we have converted into the passive form. Now already we have the passive form and we have to convert it into the active again. So the same rules will be applied in the reverse form to make the active form from the passive. Now, after the explanation of the concept, it's a time for some questions. So here you have the assignment with some short questions. In the question number 1, you have to convert the active voice into passive, and in the question number 2, you have to convert the passive into active voice. I hope you all have understood the concept and you all can do all these questions well.